Hi guys, it's IlonkaSims here, and I'm back with another speed build. This time I'm building a futuristic home for somebody on Facebook again, and I'd never built a futuristic home, so I wanted to give it a try. I looked at some examples on YouTube and just Google and the gallery because I had no idea where to start. So this might look a little familiar to some of you. I think most futuristic builds in Sims 4 so far have all these curved roofs. And they look really nice, to be honest, but all of the futuristic builds are also very white and green and happy, and this isn't. I built this for somebody on Facebook, as I said, and they were going to do, I think, something with Star Wars, and I'd never seen Star Wars before, so I went on Google Images and looked at some pictures, and I figured this whole white, green, happy stuff doesn't really work too well, so I changed it up a bit, as you will see later on. You can probably already see actually from the steel roofs, but the whole build will be a little bit darker, and I actually tried not to use any green plants and actually very little wood as well. Don't know if I think that in the future there's not enough wood for people to use wood, or maybe people have just become really awesome and they've decided to be more sustainable and not use so much wood if they can avoid it. So as you can see, we turned the house around because I couldn't get the entrance to it, and changing it around, putting the entrance in between the roofs worked really well. And then we add a little detail on the side here and on the other side as well, and it just works so much better than before. I really struggled getting this house right because I wasn't sure what I was doing, to be honest. This whole future thing is not something I'd done before, and I was just completely lost. But yeah, as you can see, I've also went with some purple detailing. I started with the glass dance floors in between the roof thingies, like the holes. And initially I thought about doing them with the blue lights, but then I figured with the grayscale theme that we had going on, maybe the purple would work much better. And I really liked it, and it's a little bit different from what you would usually see maybe, so I tried to change things up a little bit. We go in here adding a little balcony with the, what are they? They're like glass sculpture thingies from Get Together? Yeah, from Get Together. But there was something really weird going on for me with the balcony at first. It stopped being weird just before I ended building this, but finished building this. But when I was working on it initially, I could not grab the room that was the balcony, and I could not put anything on it. It could only work if I had walls around it and a roof on top. It was really frustrating. I had no idea what happened. I repaired my game and it kept being really annoying, but it fixed itself somehow, so I guess that's okay. I think soon we will start on the inside. I put in the pool. Right, I used some really blue wallpaper in the pool from Spa Day that made the water in the pool not look so I don't know what to call it. It's like this really warm purple now, and with the blue wallpaper in it, it looks a little more like the kind of purple that I wanted to work with the build. So we use lots of purple lights around the main areas of the house because I wanted to be consistent. Yeah, that's basically all. We're putting in some windows. To be honest, I really struggle with the windows as well. I always do though, to be honest. I always think like, oh, if I knew I could do this, and I'm like, oh wait, those only fit on the taller walls or on the shorter walls. Yeah, I just put in some windows there, and I think that's about it. We will soon start on the inside. Oh yeah, here I go. With the stupid balcony not working. I wanted to put in the DJ table and just wouldn't work. So I put a wall around it and a roof on it and it worked. Changed it back up, so it'd be frustrating, but if it fixes itself, that's fine, I guess. Putting in a few more windows because it would be much too dark inside otherwise. And then I think we will start on the inside any second now. No, apparently not. Not sure what I'm doing. Oh yeah, I'm changing some of these walls to purple just to give it a little bit more color, I suppose, because it was very grey. It will still be very grey in the end, but especially when I do the plants and stuff, it will work out a lot better. I put these metal floors inside because, as I said, I didn't want to use too many wood. And I usually put wood everywhere, literally. I love using wood, but in this house I went with metal flooring, and then the downstairs will actually change into concrete later on because it was much too dark. Struggled also with this tab placement, but it worked out pretty well in the end. I mean, it's a little weird having these two staircases, but who knows what they do in the future, right? I mean, they could do the weirdest things. Nope, still trying other things. Didn't work so well. I should have cut that out. I forgot. Here I go, putting back the stairs where they were. It's a little open area when you kind of walk in. Looking at the wallpaper, but I think I stick with the same kind of wallpaper that I have on the outside in combination with this black with the trims around it, like them, I don't know what they call it. Anyways, we start on the kitchen. I always start on the kitchen for some reason. I put in the metal one in the end because I figured it would work best because I had metal flooring and just it was the most futuristic to me, I suppose. Also with the kitchen, I really struggled trying to figure out what I wanted to do, but in the end, I think it looks really good. Not with the wall there. That was really weird. I don't know why I even tried that. But I ended up putting in a little island and then just a dining table to the side of it. And I really like actually what I do with the dining table, but I won't spoil it just yet. Here I go, trying to figure out what I wanted to do. This took much so long, but I put in the island and then some stools. I tried to change things up a little bit so that not everything would be purple, but I end up using just purple and a little bit of like a bluish color, but not much. I think that's pretty much what the kitchen will end up being, except for just changing some things around. Except for like decoration and things, not anything very specific that is actually useful. I'll be right back. I need to do something. This is really weird, but just a second. I just realized my door was open and my dad will be home soon, so he'll probably yell and interrupt me recording if I didn't close the door. Plus there's cats running around somewhere as well, and they want to be fed soon, so that's definitely also a small issue because they'll stop meowing very soon. Yeah, I put in the glass table and chairs. Don't know why I went with the glass and glass, but I think it kind of works. I'm not a huge fan of it, I will admit that much. I wouldn't do it in a normal build, but since this was a futuristic build, I wanted to do things a little bit differently. Put in these candles from movie stuff pack, and I actually really like them. They work quite well in this build, I think. I don't know what it is about them, but I just like them. I think you will see it in a second, I will put this one light in the middle of the table. I don't know what I think about it, but it's kind of funny and it's a little bit different, but again, this is a future build, so it should be something different. We put in a big TV because this is the future and people will have very big TVs, in my mind. Putting the shelves around them like I did in my room build, my living room build, because I think it works really well and just makes the whole thing a little bit, I don't know, a little bit more interesting than just putting in the shelves, the cabinets. I put up purple light behind the TV, which I think works out really well, and it's just nice. And I put 2 carpets from Get to Work Together to create one carpet, which I think again looks really nice. I changed the color though because it was getting too purple and ridiculous, but that will be in a little bit. I think I will try something else first and then I'll be like, no, this doesn't work either, so let's change it. I think I had to come back to it because I was just getting really frustrated, not knowing what to do. What am I doing? Oh right, I'm changing the floor to concrete and changing some of the walls, the tiles kind of, that I also have on the outside. I had a darker color on the inside and I looked at it and it was much too dark, so I ended up changing it to the same one that we had on the outside. Yeah, I go trying this, God, I cannot think, this dance floor as a rug, but I didn't really like it as a rug, so I changed it back to the other carpet, but then in white instead of purple. Yeah, like this. Just easy, simple. Well, I don't think that's the white one actually. I think it's the blackish one. The white one is much more defined. I ended up changing the layout upstairs as well because it was a little weird that you would have to go through a bedroom to get to the balcony. I'm not sure what happened there. We put a bar in this little nook looking out to the pool. Not that bar though. I really don't like that bar. Is there anybody that really likes that bar? I mean, I like that it has the colored lights in it, but it's so ugly. Yeah, I go putting the, I don't know, booze behind the bar because that makes sense, I suppose. I tried a few different colors, but I ended up sticking with the bluish color we have on the side, and then leaving a little space in between. Wow, yeah, I tried. Leaving a little space in between the two things and putting a shelf on it so that I could put some decoration on it. I start off putting, I think, some candles on it, but I change it at the end actually, but you'll see. I think I used the same stools here as I used in the kitchen, just for consistency's sake, and again, it's a little bit bluish instead of the purple. I really wanted to use these glowy tables, but they didn't work too well, so I ended up going with something a little bit different, I think. A little bit smaller, I think that one. I was trying some different things with the colors of the chairs, but again, wasn't. I ended up going with this really, really bright blue, kind of. Not like a. What kind of blue is it? I'm not sure what kind of blue it is, but it's a nice blue, and it's a little towards the purple, a little bit towards the violet kind of color that really looks quite well. Doesn't look quite well. That's not proper English. I'm sorry for my really awful English, by the way, in these videos. Normally my English is pretty good, but recording is still a little bit awkward for me, and I just end up not being able to talk. Also end up changing completely, wait, what did I just say? I end up completely changing the bathroom. Also putting these purple trees in the living room. I actually always thought, like, what the hell am I supposed to do with these purple trees and pink plants and all this, but since I didn't want to use any green plants, they actually came in really well, worked out really well for this build. I never thought I'd use them, but I did, so thanks EA for knowing what I wanted to do without me knowing it actually beforehand. So yeah, this is basically the configuration of the bathroom, but I end up going back and changing it a little bit still. We start on the upstairs, where we do still have the metal flooring, but for some reason it doesn't look much too dark up here, like it did downstairs. I don't know why, but it works much better. We finally end up putting, oh yes, this little glowy cube, what is it, glowy table here. I think we also end up putting it outside, but not inside anymore, at least. Just the pink plant again. I love what I end up doing next to the desk. I figured that we'll see it soon actually. I won't spoil it. I will explain what I was thinking when you see what I've done. But it's a little bit different and it works out pretty well, I think. I put down the mirror behind the glowy table thing. I'm like, what would it be? It's not like I don't think it's like a table. Like, it works as a table, but it's not really a table, let's face it. I'm not sure what it is. It's a purple glowy thing for me. I end up putting some of these like that. I actually really like it like that, when there's just like the one coming out and then there's still a strip of empty wall left. And you can go changing the bathroom a little bit. I made all of those purple and then we had a little bit of a purple glow. Changed the flowers downstairs, which I'm not sure you could see, but I changed them to a bluish color instead of the pinkish color because we went with more blue colors in the downstairs. And here we go, putting in a gnome riding the flamingo. It's a little weird maybe inside and just weird in general, but you know what, this is The Sims, and we're in the future and this is like a historical object and it's like, oh my god, wow, look at this old thing that people used to have and it's so beautiful. I mean, it's not, but people can think that in the future maybe people will think it's beautiful. It's a historical kind of sculpture. So I like it there. Put a little light up there. And yeah, I love doing that. Putting these little lights from, I think they came at Spa Day, putting them behind the metal wall sculptures, and then having the light go up and down from there. It looks really nice, I think. But here we start on the first bedroom. There's two bedrooms, they're the same size, they're really small, but I don't think bedrooms need to be very big. And these had changed the colors from the grey and purple to something a little bit different. There's not a specific master bedroom and there's no further bathrooms upstairs, so you'd have to go downstairs, which is not ideal, but it's the same, so it's okay, I think. But this one is a little like blue and orange, which I think is a really nice color combo always. I put up another mirror there, yeah. It's very asymmetrical, but I like the whole asymmetrical thing. I tried putting up curtains, but I couldn't find anything that I liked, so in my head, in the future, you don't need curtains because we have a lot of technology and windows will just black out by themselves at night if you want them to. I don't know, something like that. We end up using this light as kind of a sculpture as well as a light. Putting the dance floor here, which worked much better because most of it was covered by the bed anyways. End up using the same bed here because it was just the most futuristic bed there was. tried some weird things with the wall which didn't work, so no worries. This looks ridiculous, but looking back at it now, I wonder what I was even thinking, but it won't stay, so that's okay. What the hell is even happening? I don't even know why. Like, the wallpaper is so weird. I don't know why they ever added the wallpaper, but I end up using it with the mirrors over it, and it works pretty well, I think. It's not great, but because the mirrors cover most of it, I think it's a nice kind of framing. We put just some green and red details in there, and we will go back in a little bit and just add some more details around the house, because there's not too many details now, but I wasn't sure what to do with the whole futuristic thing, and I just wanted to give it some time. We put a little indoor exercise area, I suppose, here, so that your Sims can have their workout, a TV that you can watch if you're doing your weight training, going around, changing the lights. I had to put a sim in here so that I could change the lights. As you can see, I don't know if you noticed actually, I say as you can see, but you probably didn't really see. I put in some alien sims that I created actually just after the Sims 4 came out. So they're not real alien sims, they're like normal sims with blue skin, because normal sims have blue skin apparently. But I actually really love those sims. I never really played with them much because I'm very much a builder and not so much somebody that plays the Sims. But I really love how they turned out, and I put them in really bright colored clothes, and they don't really match, but at the same time they look really cute. But I think we finished most of the inside and we start on the outside right about now. God, I've been talking for 20 minutes to myself, this is nice. Anyways, we go here trying to use the lights, and I put up the waterfall in front of it, but it didn't work so well, and because of the light coming from the inside, the purple lights were actually kind of a gradient going from white to purple instead of just all being purple, but I end up actually putting them back in because I do really like them. But we start here on the outside deck. I don't put up much more than what is on there now because it's only 3 wide, and I want your Sims to be able to, I don't know, dance and have a party and just be happy Sims, I suppose. Even if the house is not very happy and green and bright, your Sims can still be happy. It's the future. You should enjoy it. But it's just a little bit of a party area. And here we go, changing things around again. I put some lights. I end up doing this, but I change it. I try a few other things as well, which I didn't like too much. With these mirrors, I don't know. I mean, I didn't hate it, but I looked at it and was like, you know what? This looks very strange, and it just isn't quite working for me. So I end up going back to the lightings, tried to go all around it, but when they were behind the fountain, it was just way too much light. So I go back here and put in the lights there. Oh right, I changed this to the taller lights because I could, and I thought it would add some, just a little bit of dimension to the pool area, where not everything would be the exact same height. If you can somehow manage to work a little bit with the different heights, then that's really nice. I tried to do so here, but I wanted to put mirrors on this wall, and apparently they didn't fit, so I put the mirrors on both sides with a little bit of a purple on the purple wall, and we end up putting in a lot of trees and plants that came from the alien world and get to work. Because again, I didn't want to use any actual green plants, and basically every plant in the game is green, which makes sense because if you look outside your window right now, you will probably see plants and they will all be green. Flowers will have a different color, but they will still have the green stems. So I end up going with all these things. Tried to put them in the pool, which didn't work, but I put some in the fountains in the front, so that worked a little bit better. Putting in some rocks. I think I actually only put rocks in this little area here and not in any of the other ones. Also these flowers that came from Get to Work, they were so pretty. I don't know why I've never seen them or used them, but they look really, really nice. With a very kind of icy blue. They just work out pretty well. I think the only other plant that I used is this little ball thingy from ball thingy. It's like a, I don't know, it's a weird kind of flower from Romantic Garden stuff, because they have some of the flowers and they don't have the green base. I was like, I can use these as well, so I ended up doing that. Sizing up some of the plants around the place so that it didn't all look the exact same. Of course, cannot forget the mailbox and a bin. I go around changing the grass a little bit because I didn't think it should be quite as green as the grass all around the place, because I don't know, it's the future and things have to be different from what they are right now, because otherwise it's not the future. But I go over it with many different colors and patterns, and I don't know what to call these things. Terrain paints, with many different terrain paints. And I blurred it at the edges so that it still would kind of blend into the environment, but it was still a little bit different. I didn't put sand, like normal sand, underneath the flowers either, but instead I put in, like, I think it's like a granite sort of texture or gravel or something. It's like, maybe that's a little bit weird, but this is the future, we can do whatever we want. I wanted to do something with this area underneath the dance floor in between the sculpture thingies. And I will end up putting in a very, very, very large spacewalk. I tried all these different things, but they just didn't fit, so I put on the hidden, turned on the hidden objects cheat. Initially I put in this thing, which was okay, but I didn't love it, and then I was looking at these other things and was like, maybe I can make all these rocks fit together, but then I figured out that actually the only rocks with the stone that coming out like that are the green and the red ones, and then I found this really big pink one, and it fit there so perfectly. I was like, okay, I have to put it there. It's easy, it fits so perfectly, I have to put it there. I'm putting in some of the paintings, and I think I put in like a little alien, and here we go, changing the candles as I said. Putting some rocks like all over the place, because I don't know why actually, to be honest, but I put rocks everywhere just because it looked nice. But I changed the candles as well to just some basic stones, different kind of stones, just to add some color as well actually, because the candles didn't really fit as well. I think I thought that having candles in the future was already a little bit strange, but because I didn't have anything else to put in, until I put on the hidden objects sheet, which I don't really like using it. I don't know how people feel about having rocks or, I don't know, eggs in their builds, but I put on some of these trees, but then I found out that actually these were trees that you had to grow yourself, but I left them in anyways. I think when I took the screenshots, they'd already grown a little bit because I wanted to go to nighttime and we had to wait. But I think they will look nice when you have them there. And here are actually the screenshots already from the outside. Again, when it's dark, because that just seemed to work very well. You can see all the colors and all that much, much better. And the we go upstairs. I don't really know what to say during these screenshot moments. But anyways, as always, if there's something you'd like to see me build, let me know. Just comment below and I will see if I can do it. No promises, but I will definitely try. Make sure to check the description if you want to download this for your Sims. And that's it for me. See you next time. Bye guys.